All right, everybody. Thank you for joining 302 Birds. Just want to start off with a new sponsor alert. This episode is sponsored by Keys for getting into doors, houses, or just cars. Get yourself a pair of keys. All right. Thank you again for the sponsor. Dalton, we'll kick it to you.
Is there a reason that you just told us keys? You can't just leave us on a hanger like that. Like what happened?
Oh, no. Hangers are sponsoring us next week. This is just Keys for this week.
But why
Okay.
keys?
Because Josh
you
got the
use them every
keys,
day.
keys. Josh got the keys. He got the keys. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Thank you, Josh, for that brief introduction. Thank you guys for coming through tonight. Just a brief overview. We're going to be talking a little bit of Julio Jones tonight, Kenny Pickett with his small-ass hands, Malik Willis, some draft prospects, the GOAT Eagles safety. Obviously, it's freaking Brian Dawkins. We're not stupid, but we'll be getting to it soon. Jesus Christ, who the hell's breathing in there, Mike? Anyway, we got some more free agency signings. We got Tyreek Hill, potentially. No, I'm just kidding. He signed with the Miami Dolphins, Deshaun Watson. But are those missed opportunities blessings in disguise, guys? That's our theme of tonight. And without further ado, as much as we want a big name free agent wide receiver, when we say, Mom, I want to go to McDonald's, you know what Mom says? We got snacks at home. And that was kind of how I felt about this trade. Mom, I want a big name free agent wide receiver. Nah, Dalton, we got snacks at home. I mean, Zack Pascal, temporary or permanent solution. I'm going to say temporary. I did not really care for this guy. It's not that I didn't like him. He's 27 years old, 6'2", 214, 150 receptions. Now, this is the part that I do like, and I pointed this out to Jack. On almost 2,000 yards, my guy has 15 TDs. So that's pretty freaking insane. I do like that stat. And what we're going to do tonight, I mean, that's all I have to say about it. I'm going to turn on my light real quick. We're going to do this order tonight, literally, that you guys are looking at. Me, Jack, Josh, Tommy, Jackson. Take it away.
Yeah, no, I like this pickup a lot because he is a good blocking back, which the Eagles like running a lot. I like him more than – I know it was a little random pick, but I like him a lot better than those big name free agencies that were out there. So I'm really liking this, see what he can do for us. I don't think he's a permanent solution. Let's see how he plays his 1 year contract, and then assess, if we like him or not. But I like the kid a lot. He was probably number one receiver for the Colts after Pittman went down mid-season. So I think this is a good pickup.
Go ahead, Joshy Poo.
Yeah, this is like the girl you date who's like pretty, like not hot but not ugly. Like she's just safe, like has like no sense of humor. But like then after you date her, you go to like the super hot crazy girl. So this is like kind of like that boring girl you date right before then. Like very safe pickup, doesn't get hurt, catches the ball, great blocker. Like I like it that he's cheap. Doesn't have like a huge drop rate. I know his stats don't jump off the page, but he's cheap. He can do everything we want. I mean, automatically ahead of JJ or I think a Whiteside, and hopefully this like kind of gives Rager a little kick in the tuchus to be like, hey, maybe get your stuff together. So I'm not upset. Obviously, has a history with Sirianni. So I think it's a very safe, good pickup.
Okay.
I think Howie came to the realization, and I have Devonta Smith, I have Quez Watkins, I have Devonta Smith, and Devonta Smith. Yeah, because let's face it, Arcega Whiteside, he's there to block. When he's in the game, he blocks. If you looked at last season, he was in for 16% of all snaps. Out of those snaps, 95% of them were run plays. He's not meant to catch the ball. We know that. He can't catch the ball. He can't get open. He stinks. And Rager,
tell us how you really feel.
Rager, he's got the hands of the Venus de Milo. Oh, which I'm not sure if any of you are art fans. The Venus de Milo had its hands cut off during the Crusades. So it's got no hands, just like Rager. And even if it did have hands, it'd be hands of stone. And
Well, and also this frees up Smith running the slants where he's good at. He's not really a threat, but I mean it helps
That's what
him
you're
get.
going to use Quez Watkins for. You're going to use Quez as your deep guy. You
Yeah.
can use then Devonta Smith. You'll use him as a slot guy.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, we needed help, like Tom said. I mean, it was Devonta, and Devonta. But the fact that he's 27 years old is the fact that I don't like. And his height, he's not like 6'3". And in the NFL to be successful nowadays, I hate to say it, you got to be freaking 6'3". At least to be that physical wideout. Like, he's got good hands. He's got great jumping. Josh, hold on. Hear me out. To be a physical wideout, when you run a 4.55 or a 4.5, whatever Zack Pascal ran, you need to be able to be like 6'3". The thing that I do like about the guy, and it tells me that he has good separation, is on 150 receptions, that's 15 touchdowns. What is that, Josh? I don't know what's the math of 15 divided by 150.
It's 10.
10%.
So that means on 10% of the 1 out of every 10 catches that this guy makes is a touchdown, at least so far in his career. I like that. Now that's obviously not going to stick, but hey, I mean, the guy obviously has a nose for the end zone or is utilized in the end zone.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah.
Anybody got anything else that they want to say before we move on?
He's average.
Justice for John Hightower.
What'd you say, Zach?
Said justice for John Hightower.
Justice for John Hightower.
Yeah,
That
I'm a
would be
huge
a t-shirt.
fan. Huge Hightower fan.
You know our old roommate Andy met him, right?
Yeah,
In
I did.
Manayunk. I know you know that. Andy met him in Manayunk. I mean, you guys know who I really would have had over Pascal?
Who?
I think Jack might know. I've been talking about him all week, Jack.
This fucking loser.
Go ahead, Jack. Take it away first.
No. He's gonna get a lot of money, and I think we don't need to pick up any receivers. I mean, our receiving core is average. Like Tom said, we got Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins, and now we have Zack Pascal. I don't
And
think we need
Devonta
another-
Smith.
No, I already said. Devonta Smith. I don't think we need him. Do not think we need him. It's a waste of money. And I'd rather spend more money somewhere else, but not on him.
Where would you rather spend the money? I'm just curious. Like, what are you kind of looking for? Like in the free agency with the remaining money we had, what would make you
Linebacker.
Yeah,
Honey Badger? Honey Badger?
No,
No.
a linebacker.
Are there any out there though? Because Bobby Wagner might go to the Rams. I mean, at this point, if we have the cap, you might as well use it. Can't take it to the grave, right?
True.
You can literally take it to the grave.
Can you carry over cap from one year to the other?
I mean, it doesn't exactly work like that, but we still have to sign a rookie class.
Yeah, but like I think we need to spend money if he were on our defense.
Okay.
I don't disagree.
I don't think we need this all-pro receiver at all.
Okay. That's a fair point. I want to kick it to Josh before I go real quick. Josh, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think if we before going into free agency, so before we signed Pascal, like the two things we needed out of a receiver were can catch the ball and can stay healthy. Julio Jones can't stay healthy anymore. No disrespect. In my opinion, he's a top 5 wide receiver of all time, but he's just been hurt the last 3 seasons. And I mean, if we sign him and he gets hurt like week 6, like it's just going to be Deshaun Jackson, Mike Wallace, like it sucks. Like it really is unfortunate, but yeah, no. So yes, we do not need him. I think we're good at receiver. I don't want to draft a receiver. I don't want to sign another one. Also, it doesn't matter who we sign. Like we still got the same guy throwing it to him, and in my opinion, that's not gonna like Jalen Hurts has enough help at this point.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. I think that's fair. I mean, I hear what you guys are saying. You guys are saying, don't go in now, go in for the future. And I definitely can understand that. But you know what? Somebody on this show, and if you guys don't understand why I'm wearing a referee shirt, I forgot to address this earlier. I'm a Patriots player, okay? But anyway, poetry in motion, black and white, just like me. This is a pretty black and white decision for me. Obviously, we should take Julio Jones. I mean, pairing him up with Devonta Smith would be poetry in motion. You will have the yin and the yang, the black and the white. You'll have a physical wideout and a route runner deep threat. And then you put maybe Devonta in the slot, like Jack mentioned to me today, and maybe make Quez the deep threat wide receiver 2 over the top. Woo! Jalen Hurts, you would have to be an idiot not to succeed at that. Now, his decision-making is questionable, but I'm just saying, if we're going all in on Jalen Hurts this year, let's give him the most tools to succeed. Let's see if he's really got it, and let's try to sign Julio with some of that remaining cap. That's all I got to say. What do you
All right, already went. Time's up.
What you call it? And if we're being honest here, I feel like Jalen Hurts is a stopgap. He's not like there's no one better to put in his position right now. Oh, but like we know he's not really the solution.
Move to your right. You look like the Phantom of the Opera. There you go. Half the face was covered. Keep going though. You're fine.
You're what you call it? Julio Jones would want a ton of money. It's going to hit a lot of your cap that like you could use in other places easily. And what you call it? You're going to have all these guys that are that you're going to want to sign in the first round after this year too. You have all these first round draft picks. None of them are going to want like sixth round money. They're all going to want first round money. They don't want to be signed for the rookie minimum. They want those like $5 million, $6 million contracts next year, like everyone else. So go get those guys. Julio's going to get hurt, like Josh said. It's going to be another Deshaun Jackson, another Mike Wallace. That's just going to be a liability on our cap. And what you call it? And I was talking about this at work today. Hey, we don't want to be like Aaron Rodgers, where we're putting all our money into one guy on the offensive line. And look at the teams that have been winning. How's Tom Brady win? He's never been near the top 10 in top paid quarterbacks. Why? Because he realized very early on he needs a whole team around him to win a Super Bowl. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, as long as he's been in the league, hasn't figured that out yet. So why would Jalen Hurts want one guy to take up all the money and have no weapons, no line around him?
Frank, tell these guys they're stupid, Frank. I mean, do you want Julio Jones?
I mean, it would be great on a discount. I mean,
you get it for a good deal.
If anybody ever says Deshaun Jackson, I will slap the shit out of him. We gave him 2 times. No, I will slap the living shit out of him. I'm tired of him. The guy only plays for a paycheck. He doesn't win championships. The only reason he got a ring is because of goddamn Brady. So I'm so fucking tired of hearing about Deshaun Jackson. He's not a team player. He's a horrible mentor. He didn't help out anybody. Devonta is just the GOAT in my eyes right now. But I just don't think he's a part of Philadelphia as he used to be.
The missing piece, though, Frank, would you like him? I mean, look at some of these stats. 33 years old, 6'3", and probably the GOAT wide receiver the past decade. Would you like – I mean, you get him for a good enough deal. You want him to come to Philly?
He has to stay on the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He has to stay on the field. That's the thing. Like, I mean, Devonta's a monster. Everything is great, but like, think about it. Like, I don't think even signing Bobby Wagner or anybody, I don't think it's a good move. I think you have the Kobe, who's already NFL ready. I mean, if you looked at him in the NCAA playoffs, he was a leader. I mean, he literally carried his team. Like, you saw it. The guy got a catch, and it was like what, on the 2nd yard line. You saw he literally grip all his cornerbacks and all his safeties and was like, yo, figure out what's going on. Literally took them and started screaming at them. Showed real leadership. I think he's going to have a C within 1 year being the Eagles.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to be around? He's not going to be – I don't think he's going to be around on the board. Jacoby Dean.
Jacoby Dean's definitely going to be on there.
You think so? Okay.
Oh, no doubt. And then Jordan Davis next.
And last but not least, Sepp, did you go with this yet? I don't think you did. Did you?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay, so everybody hit it. So we can move on to our next topic then. Sorry about that. But moving on to our next topic of the night. And guys, real quick, I just want to introduce our guest in case you guys didn't meet him. This is the Batman of Philadelphia, Mr. Frank Longo, a diehard Eagles fan, a guy that we were lucky enough to work with. Gentlemen, let's give him a round of applause. Frank, welcome to the podcast. We're happy to have you back here.
Jordan, shut up.
We go way back. Now, let me ask you guys something. We're talking about the draft and Nakobe Dean, and yeah, that's great and all, but the Eagles are freaking stupid, and Howie Roseman has been hanging out with Drake a little bit too much. So are we testing the waters at QB and looking at Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett? We took Kenny Pickett out to dinner. Frank, our guest, go ahead and take it away first.
No, absolutely not. You don't test it. You have 3 first-round picks. You get Bernard Rollman in the late round that we have. From Central Michigan. You get Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. You worry about your offensive line a little bit in the first round. You get the inside. You get someone that Fletcher could actually have underneath his belt. Now you have 2 just monsters in the middle with Jordan Davis. Then you have Nakobe as inside linebacker. Dude, I'm telling you that defense is going to be just monstrous. It's unstoppable, that line. Then you have Graham. Hopefully he stays healthy. I love him to death. And I think that D-line is just going to be monstrous no matter what. I think Jordan Davis is going to be the next big D tackle in the league. I mean, the kid runs faster than any other inside defensive lineman in the league. So why wouldn't you get him? Nakobe's definitely going to last. I really wanted to go after Hamilton, but Hamilton's going to be top 4. I'm looking at all these boards and stuff, but every single time I see Nakobe at number 15, I feel like there's no way that you can't have Nakobe at 15. Too much good prospects in front of him, a couple of wide receivers, a couple linemen, a couple of maybe a quarterback or 2. I don't think it's a really strict, good quarterback draft year. So that's where I'm at right now. Just play it safe.
Okay. Play it safe. I love it. What are you thinking, Jackson?
No, Frank had really good points. I don't want to test the waters with these two quarterbacks. We don't really need a quarterback right now. Like Frank said, maybe draft a quarterback, late in the round, the 6th round, if there are any quarterbacks around. But yes, I think we need a Kobe Dean if he's still there. We need to build that defense, build a defensive lineman. Because if you really look at it, our defensive lineman's getting old, and we need those young bucks to step it up and take after Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Hargrave, all those good defensive linemen, and then just build our defense, because I think right now our offense is pretty set, but there's holes in our defense that we need to definitely cover if we are to draft well. So
Jack knows all the holes.
Yeah, dead ass. But yeah, I'm not. I don't want to test the waters with them at all.
Zeppelin, you are in the top spot. Testing the waters?
If Kenny Pickett is still available at round 15, I think you take him. And then I think at 16, you take Dean. But if not,
I thought the
round or pick. Round or pick.
No, pick.
Here's a round.
Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm a dumbass.
The engineer. Dumbass.
I don't have a diploma yet. Yeah, I think if Pickett's there at 15, you take him, but absolutely under no circumstances do you trade up in this draft. You are picking 3. You are making 3 picks in round 1. And hopefully one is to Dean, one is to Jordan Davis, and then another one is hopefully also to a defensive player, with the exception if Kenny Pickett is there, in my opinion. But do not trade up. Take 3 players. If Pickett's not there, take 3 defensive players. That's what I think.
Okay. And then last but not least, well, before me, certainly not last, certainly not least, the Delco guy, Tom. I mean, you said today in the group chat you do like Pickett. What are your thoughts?
I love Pickett too.
But
thanks for El Diablo for the sponsorship. Accidentally clicked that, but thanks to them. Anyway.
Well, fuck yeah.
Anyway, Tommy, thank El Diablo real quick.
I wish I had El Diablo today. I had Chipotle and they put a leaf in my burrito bowl, which is
let's go. You're don't get a better ad than that, baby. Take it away, Tom.
But anyway, I do love Pickett. His arm strength is so much better. It's night and day compared to Hurts. However, I have to agree with everyone. I don't see him as someone I can build around, though, either. So I don't want to test the waters with him. I don't want to even go there with him.
Hurts. You gotta go for Hurts.
But he at least can throw a deep ball. Hurts, he can't throw a deep ball. That's like the only difference between the two. But anyway, hey, I'm with Frank. You want Nakobe Dean. You want the other guy too. Also, in the second round, I like the guy from Michigan that just tore his Achilles. Make him kind of like what you did with Sidney Jones a few years ago. Try to build him.
Yeah, that worked out great.
What?
I said, oh yeah, that worked out great.
Yeah, but it worked out great with Joel Embiid, didn't it, with the Sixers?
That's
Yeah,
a completely different
Complete different
situation.
sport.
It's a completely
Yeah,
different
tomato. You still need to use your Achilles a lot.
Anyways, I'll take it next. Thank you for that.
Next.
Kenny Pickett's got small hands. Kenny Pickett, I don't want you. The New England Patriots, we don't want your ass. No, I'm just kidding. The Eagles don't want your ass too. I mean, look, this guy's a snake in the grass. He's got the AirPods in. He's got the little heart comb. He's unpredictable, and he is a fuckboy. And you know what fuckboys do? They fuck you over. And I'm worried that Howie Roseman is going to do that. He's going to get Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett and screw up this franchise for the next couple of years. Stick with Hurts. Dude, do you guys notice anything weird about this picture? I wish I could zoom in actually, but you see that right there on the right? Hold on. Let me just make it full screen. Do you guys see that? How Kenny Pickett literally has on 2 pairs of gloves. Does that alarm anybody else? Because that alarms me. Anyways,
did you watch his pro day?
His pro day was great, but I don't care.
Bro, I don't care how many gloves you have on. If you have a pro day like that,
not very well. I do not want either of these guys. Well, maybe Malik Willis a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Bro, if you have a pro day like that, I would take you.
Maybe Malik Willis. Definitely not Kenny Pickett.
I don't like the gloves, but shit.
Are we really arguing over gloves right now?
Who played on the
why
team?
not?
It matters.
I argued more about stupider shit.
Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner wore gloves. Peyton Manning wore a glove after he had the surgery.
Teddy Bridgewater wore gloves.
Teddy Bridgewater is a goat. I don't care what anybody says.
He's a fucking no, he's not.
I love.
Do you guys know who's about to come on the show right now? A very, very special guest. I want to welcome him before he comes on. He'll be joining in on a second, but we're going to bring up the topic right now for the guy. So when he comes in, he will feel warm and welcome with our rival team. Chris King's coming on the show, one of our good buddies from St. Joe's. I just want to thank him for coming on. And Chris King is a Washington Commanders? Yeah, Commanders team. I'm just kidding. And Tom's favorite QB in college, Tom's idol in life. Jeez, Tom might love Carson Wentz more than he loves Jesus Christ himself.
He was a god back in the day. He was
going to play for the freaking Washington Commanders. That sucks. But welcome to the show, guys. Gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome and a warm round of applause for Chris King.
What up, Chris?
How are we doing, guys? How are we doing? Good to see some of you guys. I haven't seen some of you guys in a while.
I haven't seen you ever, so it's all good.
Nice to meet you.
So this is a guy we worked with. Chris went to college with us in St. Joe's. He lived on me and Tom's floor. But Chris, we will let our very special guest take this away first. Welcome to the show once again. But how are you feeling about Carson's new colors, and how you feeling about your new QB?
Yeah, so Dalton, honestly, when I first got the news, I was distraught, honestly, because I've never said a good word about the guy. In 2017, I mean, like, I was motherfucking him to death because of how good he was. And then after that, it's been great because he hasn't been as good. But you know, digesting a little bit, I honestly, it was probably the best thing they could have done after the Russ situation. I know we offered the best package for Russ, and he just ended up going to the Broncos. Probably, I saw that he wanted to get to an AFC team, or they wanted to send him to an AFC team. But after that, I mean, it was a crapshoot between like Mariota, Jimmy G. I mean, you had Watson there, but like, did you really want to enter that, you know, sweepstakes where, I mean, you have Carolina now, and there's another team without a quarterback that, you know, that are lost. I mean, Carolina's going back to Sam Darnold now. So you really didn't want to enter that Watson sweepstakes. And after that, I mean, you're looking at Mariota, Jimmy G, Jameis Winston. I mean, Wentz is probably the most upside out of all of them. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Hopefully he can return back to his 2017 self, but I guess we'll see.
All right, Frank, you're waving your hand like a
Yeah,
little
I
kid.
see. I
Why
see
don't
the
you- Why
timeout
don't you take it
going.
away, Frank? You can take next take.
Okay, if you really believe that like you guys have better chances, why did the sports book what was it? DraftKings Sportsbook when they put you to 61 odds to win the Super Bowl to 75 to 1 odds? I just want to know that answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because of the cap space. We're paying him $28 million this year. I mean, he's an upgrade from Heineke, like 100%.
I agree.
100%.
I agree with that, but I mean, 75 to 1. I mean, he's making your team worse just because of the cap space situation, and you're paying him like he's Lamar Jackson. That's just a huge issue in my eyes, and I just think through the grapevine, I heard he is just a cancer in the locker room now. He blames everybody else but himself. He says that he has to play better, but then turns around to his wide receiver coaches in the Colts. And then everybody thought, oh, Frank Wright is going to be the answer for Carson Wentz. Frank Wright gave up on him. We got to all understand that. Frank Wright, the guy that took the Eagles to the Super Bowl and almost gave Carson Wentz the MVP of 2017 and 2018 year, gave up on him in 1 year situation. So there's something else. Maybe it's a Ben Simmons thing with his head, or it's just his leg. I don't know. Maybe he can't push off the same, but I think the guy's done. He's toasted. And there's rumors already with Redskins talking to Joe Flacco. If you're thinking that Joe Flacco is your answer, your team is screwed.
Tommy boy, it pains you to see.
Don't
I mean,
pain
Chris told me even before the first person he texted was Wentz is a god.
Wentz is a god.
Look, his words haunt him now, Chris. His words haunt him.
I love it. I love it.
Tom, how you
2018
feeling
was a
about
great
this shit?
year. The 2017-2018 year was a great year. It was a great year. But it pains me. He's the enemy now. I hate him now. I hope he fails. Hope he fails miserably.
Damn.
He's going to fail miserably.
Is he
But,
gonna kick our ass next year, Tom?
no, he's not gonna complete a pass.
We play him week 1. What do you think's gonna happen week 1?
We're going
You
to
think we're going to play him week 1?
At home, we do. We play him
Yeah,
week 1.
week
Look at
one
the schedule.
at home.
You think he's going to get who do you think is going to get a warmer welcome? Ben Simmons or Carson Wentz?
We'll get to
He's
that.
like a
Let
warmer
Tom
welcome.
take his score prediction real quick though, Tom. But give me a score prediction.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot to a little. Oh,
Jeez. You
like-
think?
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think this guy does not deserve to be in the NFL.
Anymore.
After his
All right,
injuries,
I wouldn't go that far.
hey, listen
I
to my
can't
point.
believe all this.
He's
I
a
can't
good
believe it.
backup.
I can, but
Listen to me. After his injuries, he wasn't the same Carson Wentz that we all fell in love with when we drafted him. He kind of was a bum.
Sixth in QBR.
Kinda was
You
a
might have to
bum.
admit that. Come on now.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing what he was doing in 2017, doing the magic throw where he ducks and fucking tosses it up, scores a touchdown. Wasn't doing any of that. I just think he's just not a good player anymore. I mean, he played decently at Indianapolis, but then we all saw the final 2 weeks where he just fucking shit the bed. So it's very inconsistent, I think. And you know, Commanders, my bad. I'm sorry, Chris. They don't really have an offensive line unless they've picked up some people in the free agency. So he needs protection. Like, he hasn't had that since the Eagles when he was a quarterback for us. So
That varsity jacket has to fucking go. This varsity jacket.
Oh, that varsity jacket.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it.
This is the perfect time for me
You're
to
in the
jump
league.
in, and I'll be quick with this up, and then we'll get to you, and we can keep it moving because we got a couple more to cover. But yeah, Frank, you pointed out that fucking varsity jacket. It was cringe, but
It's
honestly,
like-
I got a lot of respect for this guy. I got a jersey in my closet. Chris knows we were all fans of this guy as Eagles fans. I mean, why wouldn't you be? He's a likable guy. Now that Chris is a Commanders fan, Chris is going to probably be a fan of this guy, and I do not blame him. He's a likable player. I honestly think that the rumors might be true, might not be true. I think that there might be truth to a little bit and not a lot. But look, as an NFL player and as a young guy with all that pressure on you, you're obviously going to react immaturely sometimes. I'm not saying that I excuse it. Not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, this guy is a threat still. Do not underestimate him, especially with vengeance. I mean, Number
But
one,
how-
he's a ginger. So, like, he's going to just be, like, immediately, like, have vengeance out for us. But he's the redhead killer. He is Jesus. As Tom literally had a flag of him as Jesus in his room. So, when this guy's at his peak level, playing at a top level, if the Commanders can fix him, I mean, Carson Commander might be back to what he was. Probably not that level. But, hey, if he can take a team to the playoffs, I mean, I think Colin Cohert or whoever the fuck pointed it out, and he basically said that Carson had a pretty decent year last year until he shit the bed the last 2 weeks. So if you can maybe get him primed or play maybe 2 terrible teams for last week, maybe Carson's your guy. And last but not least, we'll let you take it away, Zach.
All right, first off, it's Colin Cowherd. # live Cowherd. Hit me up. She's hot. Yeah, we were talking about this today. Like, I think long term, I agree with Frank that the cap space situation does kind of like hurt the Commanders, but for this season, they should be okay. This is like they definitely got better. Like he's definitely an upgrade over Heineke, right? Just purely based on football skill. This is the only signing or trade so far that has helped an NFC East team. Every NFC team has either stayed the same or has gotten worse since free agency started. So, I mean, I think he will be good on the Commanders. I think he was at least a fit. Like he was good enough on the Colts, but also Dalton. The schedule's not out yet. I don't know how you know we play them week 1.
We usually do play them week 1 though.
But we didn't this season.
Jack told me at work today.
The schedule's not out yet.
Yeah,
Josh,
Jack,
the schedule is out, just not the dates.
Oh,
So how do you
that
know
means the
it's
schedule's
only
not out.
Yes, but we know that we play them week 1 if they're our week 1 opponent. We just don't know what day of the week and what time and what all that we play them, right?
No, the week.
No.
schedule's not out yet.
It is what it is. If we play them week 1 though, or whenever we play them at home, we should all go. That would be fun. And you're more than
Josh,
welcome,
go build
Chris.
some more
We're gonna
Rockets,
group
guys,
together.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Fuck you.
Jack
I'll
and
show them my
Josh,
Chase Young
obviously, you
jersey.
can tell
Maybe I'll
that
buy
they've
a
known
Wentz
each other
jersey.
for a
Oh,
Do you think? Wait, I have a question. Do you really think that Carson Wentz could turn around the Washington Commanders?
He's better than
No, I don't. I just think that they got better. I just think that he's never had the weapons that he's had on Washington. I mean, Pittman's the best wide receiver he's played with in his entire career. Now he has Terry McLaurin. Now he has Gibson, where he had Taylor, but Gibson is also a capable pass catcher out of the backfield. You pair him with Logan Thomas, a healthy Curtis Samuel. I mean, he's got some weapons now. He's never had these weapons in his entire career, not with the Eagles, not with the Colts. You could talk about the offensive line. I mean, Washington had a good offensive line. They were top 10 offensive line last year. I know they lost Sheriff, but they brought in Andrew Norwell. So, I mean, no. Are they going to compete for a Super Bowl? No. Are they going to compete for the division? I think, yeah. I mean, Dallas, I think, got worse. Eagles, I'm not sure. I know they signed the defensive end. I'm blanking on his name. Reddick. He's a nice player. But for the most part, I think we're going your guys' point
too.
we would hope he would be up on this list then, Frank. But who's your GOAT Eagles safety, real quick? So I guess that guy on the right or left is Bill Bradley, Andre Waters, Brian Dawkins, Quentin Michael, and of course Malcolm Jenkins. But obviously, we all know who the GOAT is. I don't need to state the obvious, Brian Dawkins. But I'm interested to hear who's your number 2 guy.
I'm gonna put Brian Dawkins as my number 2 guy.
Wow, who's your 1? Holy shit!
Malcolm.
What a fucking start to the night.
I'm gonna put Malcolm. Malcolm's a beast. He won 2 Super Bowls for 2 different teams. I mean, the guy knows how to lead a locker room. I'm not saying that Brian Dawkins does not, but Malcolm Jenkins is definitely a first Hall of Famer. I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer. Kid really knows how to step his game up, even though his older career, he's sort of playing just a deep game right now, but he knows his limitations. Brian Dawkins, he's at the end of his career. I hate to say it. When he played for Denver, he still wanted to play man-to-man. He got beat a lot. I mean, I love Brian Dawkins' depth. I'm not talking bad about him. I think he's a great player. I think he's awesome. I think he was a first ballot Hall of Famer too, but I really think Malcolm Jenkins really took us to the promised land, and people don't forget, man. I mean, You went to 4 NFC championships, and I'm not putting the blame on Dawkins. I still put it on McNabb, but I would still say you had 4 chances, bro, to get us to the promised land, and you didn't. Malcolm Jenkins had 1, and he got us to the promised land. And he had the biggest hit in Super Bowl history for
This
us.
kid is about
that
to
was
roast the shit
fucking-
out of you, Frank. You're about to get lit
That
up
was
by
a
him.
rock.
Jack, who's the GOAT Eagles safety?
Yeah, no, Frank, I'm gonna have to fucking disagree with you.
I mean,
We almost said it great.
I'm gonna go with Brian Dawkins, the
The
GOAT,
IQ level.
and then Malcolm Jenkins. Brian Dawkins, I don't know. He just was a different beast. He played it early on, very aggressive compared to Malcolm Jenkins starting out. And I think that this dude kind of changed the game for the Eagles defense. And then Jenkins took after that. But I think this dude is just a goddamn beast.
how many rings?
How many rings?
Mm-hmm.
0, right?
2.
Broncos? When you with the Broncos?
No, the
Jenkins-
same.
Dawkins
No, I'm
never-
talking.
Oh.
Jenkins does
Yeah.
have 2 rings. I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to measure, let's measure rings. 2 and 2 complete different defenses.
I don't know. I disagree with you.
I think I'll go real quick. I think that honestly, Dawkins is 1. Obviously, Jack is 100% right. Jack and I share something in common. Jack, we both have that sexy number 20 black jersey that we both admire. And Brian Dawkins is a GOAT. Just 2 things in life. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Number 1 is Dawk. Number 2 is Jenkins. And you're right about that, Frank. I mean, he's a stud. Number 3 for me would be Andre Waters. Number 4 would be probably Bill Bradley, even though I never watched him. I did watch some tape on him today on YouTube, like a 3-minute video. And the dude was really good, apparently, for his time. So I do want to not give any disrespect there. And plus, the guy has a sexy-ass stash. You can't deny that. But Fitz is right. So number 1, Dawk. Number 2, Jank. Number 3, Andre Waters. Number 4, Bill Bradley. And number 5, Quentin Michael.
Michael.
Thank
Michael.
you, Jack. That's my Basquet. Moving on to Tommy Boy. You can take this one away next.
I think, yeah, I gotta get the. If we're talking just Eagles, okay, I have to disagree with Frank. If we're just talking Eagles, then it's Dawkins, and then it's Jenkins. If I'm talking just overall, and I can spread it out to
It's
their whole
Dawkins.
careers, then I agree with you, Frank. I 100%.
Yeah, I
agree
expected
with
it the whole career. I mean, you got to look at their whole career. Definitely.
If I look at the whole career, you're right. Hey, 2 rings, no rings.
You had 4 chances. 4
But
chances.
he's literally like up there with Ed Reed. I mean, I don't want to cut you off,
But-
Tom, but he's
Well, Ed
up
Reed
there
has
with
2 rings.
But also, like, I'll give you this. You can't control a drunk like Donovan McNabb. Like, that's 100% Donovan McNabb's fault. Oh, Brian Dawkins would probably have 3 rings back to back if it wasn't for the drunk Donovan McNabb. Chris, you had to deal with him. You know how
Jakin
terrible
saved
of a
us from
quarterback he was.
losing the Super Bowl. I will say this. Jakin saved us from the Super Bowl from knocking out Brendan Cook.
Oh, absolutely. He
I mean,
did.
I'm wrong.
That was the greatest hit in Eagles history. Single
Nah, you're
greatest.
crazy about that. You're crazy about that.
I want to get it. I want to
I
get it
think
real
about
quick
it.
to an outside opinion here to Chris to see what he thinks about this. Chris, I mean, is it obvious, like me and Jack are saying, that Brian Dawkins is the GOAT, or do you hear Frank out?
Dude, I don't even know. I mean, I know who Malcolm Jenkins is. Obviously, dude, Philly talks about B-Dawk like he's a god.
god.
I mean, like
He is a god.
And like you look up some of his highlights, you watch him play. He was a hard hitter. Him and Sean Taylor had a lot of respect for each other. So and he played a lot like each other. I don't even know who this mustache guy is on my left, but like it's Brian Dawkins, man. It's Brian Dawkins, man. Like watching Eagles fans just talk about him, watching family talk about him, the best safety that I can think of off the top of my head from the Eagles is Brian Dawkins, and it's not. I mean, Malcolm Jenkins, obviously Super Bowl champion, had the hard hit against Brandon Cooks, knocked them out of the game, but like.
But the thing is, Brian Dawkins is named the
man.
greatest safety of his time. I would say Sean Taylor is the best safety of his time. Am I wrong?
No, that's fair to say.
But we could say Malcolm Jenkins is the best safety of his time.
Yes.
And then last but not least, I want to kick it to Zeppy.
Yeah, I don't care about this. I think McLeod should be in the graphic, but I didn't get to watch Quentin play Dawk. I watched him play for like 2 years. He's probably kind of overrated. Like,
What?
I wouldn't fuck with Malcolm Jenkins. That's what I'll say. The dude's fucking branded. Like, what a badass. And he never let us down. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I just can't believe everybody's like disrespecting B-Dawk like that. But anyway, keep going. I just can't believe everybody's
Well,
like
I also-
saying
I
he's
also
overrated
think-
and he's not it.
I also think safety just in general is an overrated position in the NFL. Like,
Okay.
You're wild with that.
I also think middle.
But you're the one that said Malcolm Jenkins is better than Dawkins.
No, saying safety is overrated. I think it's one of the most important parts of the.
Nah, honestly, like I am of the mindset you run 4 D linemen, 2 linebackers, and just have 5 cornerbacks out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big man defensive guy.
Okay.
I'm a safety
And
guy. I mean, a zone guy. I like playing zone.
Yeah,
I'm a big zone
I
guy.
don't care. I don't care about the
I'm with you,
safeties.
Frank.
Whatever.
And then moving on now, Chris, are you? I never knew who was your basketball team, Chris. Are you a Sixers fan?
I am a Sixers fan. Yep.
Oh,
I
alright,
work.
well, we
I
will
work
let
for the.
our-
I work for the Wizards, so I'm like a
Undercover.
I'm in disguise as a Sixers fan.
We'll let you take this one away first then. I mean, the Sixers have been kind of hot and cold, and that chemistry's look good and bad. What are your thoughts on the team, and how do you see us going in the playoffs?
Man, I love. I mean, like, I love the Harden trade. There was no other trade to make other than that. Pairing him with Embiid, he's never played with a big man like that. I'm sure a lot of people haven't. I just think that the offense needs to flow more. It gets a little clunky when Harden is just dribbling the ball, not finding shoot. I mean, he finds the shooters when he drives in, but he looks to get fouled too much. I think it's got to run through Embiid. They played. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the Heat game, but the ball was moving. It just looked more fluid when Harden wasn't out there, and I think that the East is wide open. I don't see the Heat being any challenge to us. I think our main challenges are going to be the Bucks and the Heat. The Bucks being the defending champs. I mean, you can't. Giannis is going to give Embiid all of what he's got, and Embiid's going to do the same to him. And the Nets, man. I mean, the restrictions got lifted today. Kyrie and KD every single time they're on the court today, or on the court, it's just like a basketball masterpiece every single time. They're going to be tough to stop, and they obviously beat our asses a couple weeks ago. But man, I think we're a championship level contender. I think we're definitely capable of of getting there. We just got to put it all together. We just need some time to put it all together, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can hear that. What do you think, Frank? We'll let our next guest take it.
So I actually saw some of these like funny like website rumors on Facebook, and I couldn't stop laughing at it, and I saved it for tonight. And I just want to hear like your guys' thought. Would you take this trade? Sixers trade Tyree, Maxey,
No.
Thibault,
No.
Tobias Harris for LBJ.
Maybe.
No.
No.
No way. Okay, good. We're all in the same book there. Okay.
Cool. Anyway, take it away, Frank.
I would do it.
Going in the playoffs.
I think we're gonna go to the Eastern Conference final and then play maybe Brooklyn and then lose. I would actually like to take that loss in a weird way, and I know people are gonna be like, why would you be okay with that? I want them to be humble, and then I want them really hungry for next year, and then them just go off on it. I want Harden hungry. I want Embiid hungry. I want all of them hungry. And I want them going after it. And then I want free agency. I'm going to see what happens in free agency and see what we can do in free agency. I think we need one more piece of the puzzle. I think we just need one more. Or we need just Maxey just feeling more comfortable with it and get rid of Tobias Harris.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Tommy boy, what are you thinking?
It's scary how cold they've been. It kind of is.
Yep.
When I think about it, it just
Kansas.
honestly is.
It
They
is.
went those first like 3 games. It was like It was like that scene, like that point where you're like in Field of Dreams, where you're like, "Is this heaven?" And you're like, "No, this is
it was a
Philly,
honeymoon.
Iowa."
Honeymoon.
Yeah, you were in the honeymoon phase, and then all of a sudden we played the Nets, and it all came crashing down to earth, and it was like, and even now, like all of a sudden you see the next few games, like Harden just wasn't the same. Like you could see it was still like in his head, like that game, like he just hasn't been the same since. Which he needs to figure out his head first, and then we might have a good shot at a good run. Otherwise, they might be another second round bounce if Harden can't figure out his head.
Okay. I mean, I definitely hear your point with that, Tom.
Wait,
I will go.
Is he giving out blowjobs? What do you mean?
Guys,
Josh, you're
Not that
cut.
bad.
Fuck you.
You're up or one.
we're going to get back and we're going to go and we're going to all be at the finals game interviewing people saying free Bud Light if you do an interview for our podcast. You heard it here first. If the Sixers go to the finals, we will stand outside Wells Fargo with a sign with a 30 rack. While supplies last. You know we got to say that and interview y'all and ask y'all how are you feeling. Fuck Ben Simmons. That's the new chant if we win the finals. But anyway, hot and cold. Not really concerned headed into the playoffs because we have probably one of the best centers, if not the best center of the past decade. One of the best, probably, is a fair point. And one of the best point guards of the past decade, too. And they're playing together. And look, hot and cold, I think, you know what? I would rather them go a little bit of cold than be hot through the whole season. I know that sounds crazy, but adversity is good. And when we lost to the Nets, I remember Harden basically said it was good that we got our ass kicked. We learned because they need to learn that now. It's not like Doc Rivers is going to fucking do anything. So the players need to learn so that we can figure out how to succeed. Jack, did you want to go or Josh, did you want to go?
I think Philly needs to be patient and realize that these guys still have only been playing with each other for like 3 weeks. So maybe let's not freak out about it not being perfect right away. Like
I'm freaking out, Josh.
Salute you freak out about everything, man. It's all right.
That is true.
It's okay.
So
We love you for it, but like that's just facts.
And then last but not least, guys, this is a little bit of a fun topic. Frank, don't get too carried away. We know you're gonna fucking love this shit because we bring the best shit on the show. Little bit of a tough topic for you guys tonight. Out of these 5 movies, the original Avengers, The Dark Knight, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Spider-Man, No Way Home, and then Batman Begins, which we all probably watched in 2005 when we were young men and remember how monumental that movie was in its time. You can only keep one. What is it and why? And we're going to kick it to the man himself, Josh Sepp, up top.
It's between Dark Knight and Avengers, and I think you got to keep Dark Knight. Like, Avengers isn't even the best Avengers movie. Like, it's Infinity War easily.
So if I put Infinity War up here, would that be over?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Infinity War is like one of my...
100%.
Yes. But no, out of these 5, I think you got to keep
that. I'm sorry. I should have put that on there.
You got to keep Dark Knight. All these movies are fucking bangers, though, but Dark Knight takes the cake.
All right. Okay. Jackson, what do you think?
I'm with Josh on this. I'm kind of in between Avengers and Dark Knight. I'm gonna go with Avengers. Sorry, Zap.
No. I mean it's a coin flip
because that set up a great series of great movies to come. And yes, Dark Knight, I think, my opinion, is my favorite Batman of all time. But Avengers takes the cake for sure. When it first came out, like I wasn't expecting it, and I rewatch these Avenger movies all the time, so I fucking love the Avengers. And then Captain America, Winter Soldier, not a big fan of that one. I think the original Captain America was better. And Batman Begins.
Oh, Batman Begins. Wait, let's say one more thing. I'm sorry.
You're good. Hold on.
I think this kind of like helps Jack's point. I think like the issue is when Dark Knight came out, we were younger, and like
yeah,
you guys, I was in high school.
Get some of the like minute things. Whereas,
would you make out with a girl in the movies, Frank?
Yeah, it was Mrs. Matranga.
Oh. Violation in the chat. But anyway, keep going, Zap.
No, I was gonna say like when Avengers came out, we were all like, "Oh shit!" Like it was sick, but we were older, and like Dark Knight, like I think if we were younger, like we would have realized the like force that Dark Knight like held. Because I agree
Right.
with Jack. Like Avengers kicked off like this awesome thing that was most of our childhood.
Yeah. And would you agree Captain America, Winter Soldier is not the best Captain America?
I think Civil War is the best. The first Captain America sucks, I think. But
So
Winter Soldier's still good. It's just not the best.
We will give it next to Mr. C, Phantom of the Opera.
I know if I can figure out which way the camera goes. Batman Rises and Spider-Man got to go off that list real quick. I wasn't a huge fan of
it's
Avengers.
Batman Begins, dumbass.
Whatever. Shut the fuck up.
Bitch.
I've always been a Captain America fan, so I loved Captain America, but I gotta go with Batman. Rises. That was for me. Like I watch that movie still, like all the time. Like that's the one I would keep.
So the
hands
Dark
down.
Knight?
Competition. Yeah,
The
Dark
Dark
Knight. Sorry,
Not
I
Batman.
used the
Batman
wrong word.
Rises.
I'm sorry. I do watch Dark Knight. I watch Dark Knight all the time.
You and your girl. Netflix and chill, baby.
Frank, real quick with your time, can you tell us a story about when you watched Dark Knight? Because I think for you, it's obviously number one, right?
Yeah, it's definitely my number one, and it's the only movie that I actually watched on this list.
Oh, because you're too busy.
What the?
I can't stand fucking superhero movies. Can't stand them. Can't stand.
What?
I get this every time. I feel like it's just cliche. The only other like superhero that I actually like watching is Deadpool. That's the only other one that I could actually stand.
Frank, how old were you when the first Tobey Maguire Spider? How old were you in 2002?
I was in 7th grade.
Okay, Well, no, he missed the superhero generation. That's why. Yeah. Okay. Like we grew up with this shit, but he didn't.
I was like, I would rather watch Superbad or Knocked Up than any of these movies.
That is a classic.
All right. Well, we know what kind of guy you are then, Frank. Anyways, I will give it to Chris, our guest. Chris, which one of these movies are you keeping if you can keep one?
I don't know how you guys are not talking about No Way Home right now. It is mind-boggling. Obviously, for me, it's between The Dark Knight and No Way Home. But like, if you're telling me I can only watch one for the rest of my life, it's a culmination of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. They did the damn Spider-Man meme where they were just like pointing at each other like this. Like, I almost cried in the movie theater. Like,
I cried
8 years ago when what's it called? Andrew Garfield couldn't save Gwen Stacy, and now. He kind of had that redemption with the new Zendaya. But, man, it's No Way Home for me, man. It was just a culmination of everything, like childhood, growing up, watching Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was 8 years ago?
Dude, it was like 2013.
Oh,
like 20,
yeah, 2012 probably.
Yeah, but
I mean, guys,
that's No Way Home for me.
Hey, I love that answer. And I agree with Chris. I was actually looking for my freaking Spider mask so I could put it on because I'm Spider-Man for Halloween. It's No Way Home for me, no doubt. Like Chris said, so many good points in there, and I'll just reiterate on them real quick. All three are in it. The Gwen Stacy shit, I almost cried at too. I actually did cry when I watched it. I cried.
No spoilers.
And then I cried again when I watched it in the movie theater this year with my girlfriend. She knows I'm a sensitive guy. She knows that I care. No, I'm just kidding. But like, if I could keep any of these, it would go number one, No Way Home. Number two, probably the Avengers. I'm a Marvel guy. Sorry. Number three, The Dark Knight. Number four, Batman Begins. And number five, Winter Soldier. I thought Winter Soldier was very overrated, in my opinion. It's going to fire some people up in here. Going to really piss some people off, especially that guy right there. He is not happy about that take. I better stop talking so I don't get in trouble.
Like I said, all these movies are great. All these movies are great.
Tommy, I'm sorry.
All right, can I say something that's like the most Philly thing ever?
Yes, and then tell us to hit the outro after. So you got the honors tonight.
It's not the intro, Josh. It's the outro, dumbass.
Go ahead, Frank.
Fuck up, Jack.
I actually teared up at Gritty's post about Drew.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I know. I second that. I wasn't. Yeah,
I was really upset, but let's go Florida Panthers in my mind now because
I know, right?
I really want Drew to win a cup. I mean, the man deserves it. He's a legend. He's definitely gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's just like a true Philly fan right there. if you can't support that guy, I mean, he went through it all. I mean, it's tough. I mean, Comcast needs to sell the team, and that guy stuck it out for us for how many years? Good for him. Seriously, like.
You might tear up right now. Jesus Christ. I got to do the honors tonight. Without further ado, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. I want to thank Frank and Chris for both coming on tonight. Gentlemen, let's give them a final round of applause. We appreciate both y'all. Everybody have a good night. God bless and go Birds.